So there are a number of barriers. Some of them have to do with emerging markets even before we consider climate. So to give you an example, only about half of the emerging markets or so have an investment grade ratings. That means for some global investors, they won't invest simply because the ratings is not there. If you look at low-income countries, it's not even 10%. So this is just an example, right? So it has to do with the macroeconomic environment, the legal institutional system, the policy certainty. There are also other barriers, one of them having climate policy in place. Carbon pricing is what the IMF has been proposing for a while now. We also need data. You need climate data, you need disclosure, and then there are specific issues that have to do with the financing. On the demand side, you need more projects. Sometimes there is capital available, but there's not enough project to fund. And on the financing side, we need to find a way to essentially de-risk for the private sector, or have this risk sharing between public and private sector, so that the risk profile of this investment is attractive for the private sector itself. So this, what we call sustainability teams, so those includes not just climate and environment, also social issues that have been growing quite fast, particularly after COVID, the social aspect. But then there's been challenges to this. I think one of the challenges has been the new macroeconomic backdrop, right? With monetary policy in advanced economies increasing interest rates, the financing cost is much higher also for emerging markets. So that becomes a problem to attract. So we have seen some slowing of this flow. So I think, again, very important to address some of the fundamental issues in emerging markets. So if we can reduce and address those, that can reduce the cost of capital to emerging markets. And I think that's where the fund, again, can play a role, because that's what the traditional business of the IMF, improving macroeconomic fundamentals and make ultimately the environment more conducive to private sector investment.